Hey everybody, Jeff Miller here from Target Test Prep, Head of GRE Instruction. Excited today to talk about the ultimate GRE Quant study plan. I'll give you some steps to follow to get you going, so let's talk about it now. Step 1, learn about the GRE and what's tested, and then take a practice test to get a baseline score. The baseline score is important, but I don't want you to take it without any sort of instruction whatsoever, meaning you got to have somewhat of a foundation. You got to go in, you got to look at the types of quant questions that are tested. So what do they test on the GRE? Well, you've got your traditional single answer multiple choice questions, A through E. Those are the types of questions you're used to. But then there are some of multiple answer multiple choice questions where you have to select some unknown number of correct answers to get the problem correct. You also have numeric entry questions. Those are ones where you actually fill in an answer with some numerical answer. There's a box there and you fill it in. And then finally, quant comparisons. That's when you have two quantities. You need to figure out which quantity is greater, either quantity A, quantity B, or they're equal, or you don't have enough information to determine. Once you have those questions down, you practiced a few, then you take that practice test. Take an official one from ETS. I know they only offer 5. It'll leave 4 for the end of your prep, but this is important because you need a very accurate baseline score, because without that, you're not going to know where you're going, and that also means you need to know your goal score. If you don't know that, reach out to schools, go to school websites, figure out what your baseline score is, where you need to go, and then you can start dealing with an estimated timeline. Step 2, you got your baseline score and score goal in hand. So what do? You map out your timeline and your study schedule. If you need 20 points, maybe it's 3 to 4 months. If you need 30 points, maybe it's more like 6 to 7 months. Either way, you got to get an estimated timeline. And here's a tip. Give yourself more time than you need. Not the exact time, not less time, but more time. Because guess what? Throughout your GRE studying, life happens, things happen, and you don't want to be in a situation where you don't have the time you need to accurately prepare. Then get your study schedule together. If you're a working professional, ask yourself, when are good times to study? When am I in the best mood or mindset to study? Is it in the morning before work, or is it after work if you get off work early? Can you take advantage of the weekends? Can you take advantage of lunch breaks? Does it have to be the same every day or every week? But at a bare minimum, try to get in 18 hours a week. That's a pretty good number. If you're a working professional, that gives you 2 each weekday, 4 each weekend day. And look, if you can't do it, you can't, but that's a floor I say to shoot for. So remember, figure out your estimated timeline, figure out your study schedule, and then you're off to the races. Step 3, all right, what do we have so far? Baseline score, target score. You figured out your study schedule. Now you need great prep materials. Now there's a lot of avenues you can take. There's classes, there's books, there's online self-study courses. The key is find a great, thorough program. Of course, I'm going to tell you that Target Test Prep is just that, and it is. Our quant materials are amazing. Check them out. We have a trial. But things to think about. Make sure the prep materials have a study plan. If you're not sure what these materials offer, sign up for trials, check them out, give them a test drive. But remember, try to find one main resource that's going to work for you, and then it's going to be thorough so you can really learn GRE Quant the way you need to rock the test on test day. Step 4, and hopefully this comes a part of your self-study course that you end up using. Follow a study plan that is thorough and topical. Topical learning. If you've seen any of my videos in the past, you know I love to talk about this. The reason it's important for your quant prep is, look, there is a boatload of stuff you got to learn for GRE Quant, and a small sliver of that's going to be asked on test day. So you can't chance it. You can't spin the roulette wheel. You got to learn these topics fully, and the way to do that is through topical learning. That means you jump into a topic like quadratic equations. You learn everything there is to learn about it. You learn about foiling, factoring. You learn about factor by grouping. You learn about difference of squares, quadratic identities, you name it. Then you practice just that topic. And you do 50, 60, 70, 80 questions. You see where there are gaps. You fix those gaps. You rinse and repeat down the line with the other math topics. That is super key to learning GRE Quant the way that you need to. Step 5, make sure as you're learning these new quant topics, you're taking notes and also making flashcards, because a big part of what you're doing in your prep is review. You're going to learn things week 1, week 2, and you need to make sure by the time you get to week 12, you've seen those things again. And unless you're going back to your books, your self-study course, and looking at them, you just want to have notes on hand. You want to have flashcards on hand. And the reason is they're easy ways to study these things, and it's an effective way to study when you're not sitting at your computer or have your iPad open. So you can get quick hit study sessions in the middle of your day. Heck, maybe in the middle of your work day when you're at lunch, or maybe you're at the doctor's office waiting in the waiting room and you want to pull out flashcards. So the point is, they serve two purposes. One, to do that review that you need to do. Two, to allow you to study when otherwise you wouldn't be. And remember, when you're taking notes while you learn, it's a sign that you're doing what we call active learning. It means you're not just sitting there watching a video or sitting there reading text. You're taking what you're watching, you're taking what you're reading, you're transcribing it into your own words to ensure that you've truly understood it. So making those notes and taking those flashcards literally is going to be a game changer for your GRE Quant prep. All right, step 6 and my final step for this video is give yourself about 4 weeks or so to go through what we call the practice test phase of your preparation, where you finish off the 4 remaining ETS practice exams. So if you've been doing everything I've said up to that point, you've done your topical learning, you've even done some mixed practice along the way, you're dealing with your notes, dealing with your flashcards, finally you're ready to put all of that great quant knowledge into practice, so you take those tests. Take them while you're fresh. Don't try to take them one day after the next. Give some breaks in between, whether it's 5 days to a week, because you want to take them while you're mentally sound, and then also really absorb the data from what happened in that practice test. If you get a combination question wrong, maybe you got to go review combinations. If you get a percent greater question wrong, maybe percent increases, percent change is another weak area that you have to address. So you got to spend the time in between your practice exams to address the weaknesses, to turn those into strengths, and you're going to be that much better off when you're done with the practice test phase leading into test day. And hopefully by the time test day rolls around, you're feeling good, you're confident, you're ready to dominate the GRE. All right, everybody, I had a blast talking to you about the ultimate GRE Quant study plan. Hopefully you enjoyed the tips and steps that I shared in today's video. As always, leave comments of other videos you want me to do in the future. Please, if you like our videos, subscribe to our channel and keep coming back, because more videos will be coming your way. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to everybody soon.